Hey guys, I'm Brent Rose for Gizmodo, and I'm here with the new GoPro Hero Max. This is GoPro's new 360-degree camera. It would be a sequel to the Fusion, but we're just pretending the GoPro Fusion never happened, and that's really for the best. This is the GoPro Max. Camera on each side, a touchscreen, flip out prongs. Cool, enough talk. Let's get to the footage. So unlike the Fusion, the Max has only one SD card slot and it can stitch footage in the camera, which is a huge advantage. You still have to do some stuff to it to get it to look like this, but this is basically what you're capturing when you're shooting in 360. It's super wide, but here's what you can do with it, is you can pop out a 1080 frame and then play director. So we see me climbing, then the camera pans up to see how far our subject has to go, turns back around, oh, how far they've come and how steep it is and what a mountain. And the camera pans back again, and then we can start getting into even weirder creative angles like this sort of Busta Rhymes video, Tiny Planet effect, and then switch right back into another traditional action camera shot. But this was all hastily done in post, and you can see the creative potential with just even this mundane shot of me running up a hill. And that's really the cool thing, is that it gives you so many storytelling options. So take, for example, this not particularly treacherous stretch of single track. It really wouldn't be that interesting to just watch a straight-on view from any one of these angles, but I can direct my audience's focus in any direction I choose. Just watch the drama unfold. Ew!
Yeah, good.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, shit. Good? So obviously all of these effects and transitions were applied during post, and you can do it on your desktop and even in Adobe Premiere, but by far the easiest way to do it is through the apps. You can pinch and zoom and tilt and rotate and all that stuff, and you can do these sort of easing effects where you see it's got a very smooth ramping up between tilts, pans, and zooms, and it just kind of makes everything look a little bit less digital. But you don't have to choose smooth transitions. In fact, there's an option to do jump cuts, and I found that that makes it almost seem like you're wearing a whole bunch of different cameras at once. Now this is the exact same clip as before, and say this is the rider's POV cam. And now we've got the drone cam following or leading the rider right in front, so you get the full looking back perspective. Cut down, you see the handlebars in action, and then sure, why not? Let's cut over to the Tiny Planet view with all these trees and stuff going overhead, and then back to the drone shot. I would note that the stitching isn't quite perfect. You can see a bit of a line on the helmet there, even though this was shot with the legendary narwhal mount, which is just basically a giant horn that sticks off the front of your helmet. It looks really, really dorky. And it's not something that GoPro sells, because if it were to catch on a branch or something, you could really, really hurt your neck. But it is the go-to mounting for 360 that GoPro uses for their athlete videos with base jumping and snowboarding, so they let me borrow one. GoPro's billing it as 3 heroes in one, which is kind of true, but when you're doing one camera or the other in hero mode, it's really more like a Hero 3. It maxes out at 1080-60, or really 1440-60. So it can't do 4K, it can't do the high frame rate modes like 1080-120 or 1080-240 for that really sweet slow motion. What it can do though is Max Super View, which is GoPro's widest digital lens yet. It basically crams as much as possible into a 16:9 frame, and it's really great for selfie angles, snowboarding, surfing, stuff like that. It's also stabilized with not just Hypersmooth 2.0, which you're seeing right here in the Hero 8, but with Hypersmooth Max, which you're seeing here. And while both are very good, Max is just definitely better. It's smoother and the horizon is more stable. Take a look at the side-by-side comparison and you'll really see it in the houses as they go by. There's way, way less bounce to them. Anyway, Max Super View looks really great for your standard action cam stuff. This is just the camera mounted to my chest, which is how I would normally wear a GoPro if I'm mountain biking. And here you can see it's really, really smooth. It gets a lot of the cockpit in, and I just think it's a really nice view. It can also do linear mode with that max stabilization, and this is a handheld shot. I'm holding it as still as I can, but I mean, that looks like a tripod. Now here I'm just panning back and forth, and that is buttery smooth. I mean, that's really, really impressive. So A+ for Hypersmooth Max. The Max has a time warp mode, which is GoPro's word for hyperlapse, and like the Hero 8, it can go between real time and sped up time, which I think is a really cool feature. And it also shoots 360 time warps, which does not currently support the real time option. This is the reframed version, obviously, but it's worth noting also you don't have to reframe this footage. You can upload it in 360 to sites like YouTube and Facebook, and then people can do their own tilting and panning around in their phones and browsers. This is a quick low light test. This is the Max here. There's definitely some noise in the shadows. You see it in the wood. It's not too terrible, but it's not nearly as good as the Hero 8 Black, which you see here. Colors are just way better. There's better detail as well. It just looks more natural. You know, same amount of noise roughly, but it's a brighter shot and a better looking shot with the Hero 8. Now, bear with me because this is going to take a second, but GoPro claims that the Max has a shotgun-like mic, and I swear I'm just not hearing it at all. So this is a little bit of a lengthy mic test, but check this out. This is first in stereo mode, and then we'll go to front-facing mode, and we're going to compare it against GoPro's own Hero 8.
There's something that you want to hear, fucking sing it yourself. You don't gotta listen to the words in my head.
Yeah, so the stereo mic really doesn't sound good in this context. It's weird and muffled, but let's try the same test with the more direct front-facing mic on the Max. Yeah, that is not a shotgun mic. The Hero 8's mic sounds more shotgun-like than the Max, which is a bummer for a camera they're trying to market to vloggers. Now, there are some contexts where the Max stereo mode actually does a really good job, and that's when it's sort of isolating voices out of wind.
Sketchy. That shit was sketch. Just talking, seeing how that 360 mic sounds. Yeah. Ah, thank you.
Yeah, that actually sounds great to me. So I guess we can say the mics are really good for action and maybe less good for non-action. Now, the camera is waterproof to 16 feet, which means you can take it surfing or kayaking or rafting or anything like that, but I wouldn't take it snorkeling or diving because it's not really an underwater camera. Once water gets on the lens, it changes the way the light refracts and it messes up the stitching. You can see a little bit of that here with just the water droplets, but you'll see it even more if you actually take the camera underwater. And it's worth noting this is not a problem that's unique to the Hero Max. This is all current 360 action cameras. GoPro is working on a housing for the Max. It basically looks like a giant round sphere that would go around the whole thing, and that would solve it. But you can see in the non-popped out reframed view, you can see those stitch lines even more clearly. So we don't know when that housing is coming, but hopefully soon. One last feature I want to mention that I really like a lot is Power Pano. It takes a 270-degree panoramic photo, but unlike with your phone, you don't have to sweep your phone carefully in a straight line, which means it can handle action and motion, and it'll just freeze it all at once in one single image. And I think it looks really good, the stitching is nice, and it's a cool effect. Anyway, there are a whole lot of other factors that go into whether or not you should actually buy this camera, and you should read the full review in Gizmodo to determine whether this is right for you, especially if you're trying to decide between this and the Hero 8 Black. But if you know that you definitely want a 360 cam, this is a really great way to go. It's waterproof, the footage looks really, really good, the apps are really easy to use, but you know, no 4K, no slow-mo. Anyway, read the full review and also check out the full 360-degree video that's going to be embedded in YouTube so you can scroll around and do your own reframing. This is Brent Rose, and thank you for watching.